Welcome to the Reggie's World podcast. I am your host, of course, Reggie Davis, and today is a very special day because it's the Charles Pugh tell-all interview. And let me say this before we get started. The Charles Pugh tell-all interview is being brought to you by Mr. Rayford Fry's black-owned and operated Black and White Look Optical Corporation in Detroit, Southfield, and East Point. And you can give him a call today, 248-557-6444. That's 248-557-6444. He's an outstanding gentleman, Mr. Rayford Fry. And if you need any type of optical care, you can't see, need some new glasses, contacts, give that brother a call. And we'll talk about him a little later in the program. Everyone, welcome to Reggie's World Podcast on ReggieRegRadio.com, a subsidiary of Grown Folks Radio Network. I am your host, Reggie Reg, and today I am elated to be joined by Mr. Charles Pugh. And I just want to say to you, Mr. Charles Pugh, welcome home, you product of Detroit Public Schools, 1989 graduate of Murray Wright High School. I'm going to say it proper, Charles Andre Pugh from Research Park. Put y'all hands together for this brother. Come on now.
I can't believe you used my whole government name.
Your government name. Well,
my
I know
government name.
Yeah, we brothers. I know all your stuff, so I can't be mad.
How you know I wanted everybody to know my middle name?
Well, now they know. If you didn't know, now you know. For the record, this is the Charles Pugh tell-all conversation piece with yours truly, your cousin Reggie Reg. Charles Pugh was released from serving a 5.5-year prison sentence after being convicted of criminal sexual conduct in 2016. Ever since his release, just a short time ago, media and a large number of citizens of this great city we call Detroit have been rushing to get the story, rushing to get all the rumors dispelled. But Charles Pugh decided to remain silent until today. And just FYI, this is for everybody to know, listen up, 95% of the questions I will be asking Charles Pugh are unknown to him. And he has the right. Lord. He has the absolute right, y'all. Y'all got to know this. He has the right to say no. He doesn't have to answer the question if he doesn't want to.
No, I don't.
Okay?
Just for the record.
He's his own man, right? All right. So for clarity, Charles Pugh will be having a very candid discussion with his friend, his brother from another mother, same father, Reggie Reg Davis, and the Charles Pugh tell-all begins now. Love those sound effects.
What the hell was that?
This is radio theatrics, man. All right?
I feel like somebody just dropped out of the sky with a little Tinkerbell thing and went boop on top of our heads.
All right. The Charles Pugh tell-all begins now, y'all. Briefly, before we get started, tell everyone you know that this is the new way to get the best in entertainment and information. This is ReggieRegRadio.com, and the parent company, again, is Grown Folks Radio Network, featuring talent from all your favorite radio icons like Coco, the comedian, Foolish, Shawnee D, Charles Pugh, Reggie Reg, and more. This is the hip-hop station, which is the first of 5 formats. Stay tuned for more. All right. Now, I understand that there is a whole lot that many people want to know, Charles, and we plan to cover a whole lot, as I am very grateful to have this exclusive, candid conversation with you. Just let me know that. Okay, thank you for being a part of this.
It's an honor to be here with you. It really is. And I just want to say, before you get started, because I know you have your whole list of shit you want to say or ask. By the way, I'm not going to answer all your questions.
And that's fine.
Okay.
That's cool.
You can ask whatever you want, but that doesn't mean I'm going to answer. But secondly, I just want to publicly thank you for just your brotherhood and support. Like, you have been a ride or die for me. And, you know, there have been people who've been, how can I put it, distant, you know, non-existent in many ways. But, you know,
fair weather friends.
You're coming up to see me. Like, you've made like 12 trips up to see me, you know, when I was away. And so I'm so grateful for that. It was just great to see a piece of home sitting in front of me.
You're my brother, and I refuse to see another black man who lives his life and may fall down.
Right.
And there's nobody there to help him get back up.
Right.
So you're my brother.
I appreciate that.
To the end. Just know that. First things first, Charles Pugh, we got to ask you, how do you feel? Physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, wholeheartedly, how do you feel?
I feel great. Like, there was never a time that I didn't feel great. honestly. I know people find that hard to believe, that their lives would probably fall apart if they were publicly humiliated and went to prison. I always knew that God was with me. Wherever I go, God is there, wherever I'm at. Mm-hmm. And so I always, because of that, feel confident and calm and centered, period. Yeah. So, I'm good.
Yeah. And I want to say this. The times that I would come up to see you at Ionia, it would seem you were taking life much easier than even me. I wasn't behind bars as you were, and I was like stressed out and going through this anxiety, all this. Yeah. And I would see you and light up and come back home and have a good week.
I was calm, right?
Absolutely. It was unbelievable to me, the way you were.
Well, it's because it's faith. Like, either you believe or you don't. Like, there have been some other people in our community who've been going through some things. Some people in the clergy. And, they fell apart. And it's like, well, do you believe what you've been telling people? Mm. Do you believe that God is with you, or don't you believe that?
Let's not talk about that term hypocrite. We may get, hey, I'm telling you, man.
That's your term.
Hey, all right.
But no, I believe. I believe when God says that he's going to be with us every step of our lives, whether we make missteps or not, he's there.
Right. Always.
And so I believe that full-heartedly, wholeheartedly. Yeah. I lean into that. And so because of that,
good for you, bro.
I'm always good wherever I am, wherever I am and what I'm going through, whatever it is, I'm good.
Good for you, man. And I pick up on that. I need that.
Yeah.
Now back to my teleprompter.
Yes. Your questions that you want to ask me on behalf of
so all the
people.
shit to the side now, man.
Yes.
We're going deep now. Okay. In 2009, you ran for the office of Detroit City Council, receiving more votes than any other candidate running.
Right.
And you became the second most powerful city official being named city council president.
Right.
From Fox 2 News anchor to your days broadcasting news at WJLB Radio in the morning with Coco and Foolish, who we will be working with shortly.
Yes.
To elected office, you have a huge number of followers who, no matter the case, Charles, love that infectious, positive, funny, and full of life personality. Oh. What do you say to all of your faithful supporters at this particular point in your life, Charles?
Well, I appreciate them. I appreciate them for letting me be me. Like, I'm a human being, right? So I am grateful for all of the wonderful letters and messages that I got from just strangers who just wrote me on. There's an email system for places of incarceration, whether they be jails or prisons, or even halfway houses. I think they also have contact with this system called JPay, basically, and it's an email system. So I would get messages from people all around the country who were Detroiters who knew where I was and wanted to just encourage me, send me prayers and well wishes, and just keep me uplifted. And it was wonderful, honestly, just to hear. And I got a few hate messages. Those were usually handwritten, and those usually had no return address on it.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
People would take their time to write you a hate-filled letter.
Go find a piece of paper. Go find a writing utensil. Go find an envelope. Go find my address.
Wow.
Write it. Wow. Take it to the mailbox.
Wow.
And mail that bitch.
Wow. That's unbelievable, bro.
I would laugh. It would piss me off at first, but then I would laugh. I'd be like, how pathetic is this person's life that they've got to write a stranger a nasty message, right? Like, what's going on in your life that you've got to do that? And I get it. What I did was wrong, right? But who are we to appoint ourselves as the punisher of this person who did something wrong, right? Like, let God take care of what God's going to do. Let the natural consequences of the universe take care of things that are right and wrong. Who are we to intercede in somebody else's life and what they're going through? And so, yeah, no, I just I found that really interesting.
Wow, yeah, that is interesting. Let's pedal backwards, Charles. A few years, actually 37 years ago, in the hallways.
I wasn't born yet.
Yeah, okay, you keep feeling yourself.
If I say it long enough, I might believe that.
Anyway, 37 years ago in the hallways of Detroit's Murray Wright High School. I love telling this story because it is the true essence of black male friendship, companionship,
brotherhood,
leadership, success, brotherhood.
Yeah.
I want to tell the story. So we're you and I standing in the hallways at our lockers next to each other.
That's right.
And you were everybody knew that you're going to be the TV guy, the journalist, writing for the paper. And we knew you were the TV guy. I was the radio guy. I was on the radio in junior high, so before high school. That's right. And we made a pact.
You were already a star, Reggie.
Get out of town for sundown. So we made a pact with each other. And we said, hey, man, let's go away to secondary, post-secondary education.
Right.
Let's come back home and let's take what we know so well, what we know best, broadcasting, TV, radio, and let's take it through the stratosphere and become successful in order for other young black men and women that come from high schools or areas of Murray Wright or Murder Wright was the nickname, so that they can begin to believe in themselves.
That's
that
right.
You're black, but okay, you can do whatever you want to do.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So talk about that. When we made that pact.
That's right.
What was that feeling like?
Well, it was great to have somebody else who was the same age, in the same space, who had some of the same goals and aspirations, and you were already doing your thing. Like, you had already started. So being around you allowed me to understand that my goals and dreams were attainable and very real. Like, you were the first person to put me on the radio. I remember that. It was you and Sean P. And I couldn't believe it. I'm like, wow, I'm on the radio. I'm only like 16 or however old I was. I'm like, I'm already on the radio. And then we would host stuff in Mr. Arndt's studio that would be aired on the Detroit Public Schools radio station. And I remember we had a very similar conversation like this, and we were like 17 years old. In that side studio, we were talking about the school board at the time and the mayor, Mayor Young at the time. You probably don't remember it.
Yeah, I vividly I do. I remember you being at the radio station.
It was like a talk show. But no, we recorded it at Murray Wright.
Oh, at the Murray Wright, yeah.
And then we gave it was tape. It was reel to reel at that time to the radio station, to the DPS radio station, and they aired our talk show about relevant issues back in 1987 or whatever year that was, 87 or 88. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
To follow that, in 2001, we made our pact. We left high school. You went off to school. I went off to school. We came back. We're doing our thing. You were at Fox 2 News. I was at WJLB, number one afternoons, hottest thing in TV. In 2001, the young black woman with the beautiful locks in her hair, who goes by the name of Rochelle Riley.
Right. She cut her hair.
Yeah.
She has a natural now, just a little short natural. Yeah.
Then she had dreads.
She did.
And at that time, she was a reporter for the Detroit Free Press, and she did an incredible article that captured the story of how two black men from the inner city of Detroit had a dream of success that came to fruition. Right. And I still have the article stored somewhere in my mother's basement. Rochelle Riley's article showcased our dream come true. Reggie and Charles Pugh said they would become success stories in order for young people in Detroit who don't believe they can, due to many obstacles in their way, actually can.
Right.
By changing their perspective altogether and becoming success stories themselves. How proud of you? How proud are you concerning your story of success, Charles, making it from Research Park to council president and TV news anchor, which in essence gave young people a chance? Talk to us about that.
Well, it is a source of pride to be able to be from that neighborhood and to go to school, K through 12 in the pretty much the same neighborhood, and go off to college and come back home. And between going off to college and coming back home, just kind of meander around the country along my journey, learning how to be a journalist and, how to navigate adulthood, and then come back home and to do the same at home. So, I'm really proud of that. And I'm proud of the other people who I was able to show that they can do it as well. Because that's one of the main reasons, or the main benefits of having any level of success, is that you can use your hard work and the way God has blessed you to show other people that they can work hard and also be blessed by God. They're blessed by God whether they work hard or not, but it's better to work hard if you want something specific. And so it was really a blessing to be able to share my successes with other people, to show them the internal parts. Like, whenever I would speak to any group, whether it was young people, old people, people our age, organizations, my goal was to peel back the curtain so that they could see how the success happened. Not just that I made it to Fox 2, but what did I do along the way? What was, all of my preparation, sacrifice? What were the things I had to give up? What were the things that I had to learn and gain in order to make these things happen? And so I've always been transparent and open about things, which is why I'm talking to you now, because I don't have to do this.
Right, right, absolutely.
I don't have to talk about
absolutely
this.
not. That's right.
I don't need this moment as any kind of catharsis for myself to be able to move forward. I don't need that. But you are my brother and my friend.
Appreciate that.
And I want to talk to you because I realize, and I know you have to ask some questions that I probably don't want your ass to ask me.
I'm sure.
But I don't mind doing the interview with you because I know that you're not trying to embarrass me or to drag me through any mud or anything that would be painful for me to talk about. So I'm allowing this conversation to happen.
You know how many people had to curse out because of your ass?
I know. I heard you was on television cussing motherfuckers out.
Hey, man, I don't play, bro.
On television, and on the radio and all kinds of places. And I appreciate that.
I'm not a fair weather
I
friend.
want to say thank you to all my friends and family who had those private conversations in barbershops and beauty shops and grocery stores, the same kinds of just, speaking up for me. And I appreciate that. I really do.
Man, that's right, bro.
You didn't have to do that, by the way. It's not necessary. People are going to believe and say what they want to say. No, I get it. I know. You like a good argument. You never met a good confrontation you didn't like, Reggie.
All right, let's talk about your days in prison. How humbling, I love that term, humbling, of a sensation was it, the entire experience, the conviction, the jail time, your release, and adjustment to freedom again. How humbling of a sensation was it for you, or was it at all?
No, life is humbling. Like life, period, humbles you the longer you live and the more you go through. Like life itself will humble the shit out of you. And being in prison obviously is no different. Prison is very humbling. A part of every other part of life, breaking up, getting fired, going through a foreclosure, getting fat, all kinds of things, overspending, being publicly embarrassed, all those things, not living up to your own internal expectations, all those things are humbling. But yeah, going to prison is something that you don't expect for yourself, But yeah, it's humbling in the sense that, okay, this is something I wasn't expecting, so let's deal with it. I can't undo it, so I might as well lean into it and grow from it. And so in that sense, to me, every aspect of life is humbling. Even the positive things are humbling. All those spectacular, incredible things that I have achieved and will achieve again in my life, all those things are humbling as well. Being the president of the city council in the city that you love and grew up in and was honored to serve, that's humbling. So it's not just bad things that humble you. It's really all of the magnanimous parts of God's incredible universe are all humbling. So there is nothing more humbling about a prison experience than, let's say, becoming city council president. It's humbling for different reasons, but it's all awesome. Just like, wow, like a sunset, like a sunrise, like a hummingbird, like family, a Thanksgiving meal with your family. That's humbling because you're like, wow, this is incredible. So that's the way I look at life. I don't try to compartmentalize or segment things, or this is more important than this, or this really humbled me and that didn't. No, it's all humbling. And I'm just grateful to God to be in my right mind, in a healthy body, disease-free, with a very bright future. So that is humbling.
Absolutely. 5.5 years. Did it go by fast or slow?
Yeah, it went by really fast. It felt like about 2 years.
Really?
No, it really did.
What was the cause of that? What made it happen?
I think just my attitude. There are people in there who had shorter sentences, like 2 or 3 years, and felt like they were in there for 10 years. But it's mentality. I mean, that's. I think we should live our lives that way. Like literally, your day can drag and take forever, or your day can zip by. You look up and it's time to go to bed again, and you're grateful for the things that you were able to accomplish, or the shit you didn't like, you're grateful to get through it and learn from it and keep it moving.
Did you make any friends in those 5 years?
I met some incredible people. And there are a couple of guys who I consider friends. Obviously, I can't contact them now because I am on parole. So, you can get in trouble for having contact with people who are still incarcerated. But certainly, once I am able to, there are a few guys who I want to reach back to, particularly this young brother named Kevin Smith, who's from the east side of Detroit. An awesome, just younger guy. Was really a little brother in many ways because I knew his uncle anyway before. 20 years ago, I knew his uncle. And basically announced when I got there that ain't nobody fucking with Charles Pugh, and it was him and a few other guys. And so after that, I felt safe and protected and good. They were all Detroiters and, who had met me in some capacity, whether it was through TV, through radio, or I interviewed their families, or their cousin knew my cousin, or, whatever the case may be, that kind of thing. So, Kevin and a few other guys. This guy named Chris, who's actually from Grand Rapids, but his dad reached out to me, and just to encourage me and tell me that he's glad that Chris was incarcerated at the same time with me so that Chris could learn from me.
Wow.
Of how to navigate life, how to navigate that space. I didn't know that I knew how to navigate prison, but when you know who you belong to, that you know whose you are, that you know that God is with you wherever you go, whether I'm in the White House, which I have been 3 times, whether you're on Wall Street, which I was at all the time, wherever you are, if you live under a bridge, if you are in a homeless shelter, if you are in a horrible situation in a beautiful home, but you hate where you are, or you hate your job, or you're in prison. Doesn't matter where you are. God is there if you believe that. And God is guiding you. Wherever God guides, God provides.
I hear that.
Yeah.
The terms redemption, salvation, repentance, atonement.
Yes.
What do any of those words mean to you as far as your recent experience?
Well, they all apply. And, listen, I think we make a lot about people who stumble and fall or make poor decisions, right? We all make poor decisions on some level every day with the people we don't help. That's the biggest thing. Like, we all could do more than what we're doing. We all could help more people. We could all be kinder. We could all be better listeners, better parents, better spouses and intimacy mates, better neighbors, better brothers, sisters. We all could be better people. But, I'm a human being. And so, when I fall short, when I do something that I could have done better and learn from it and will do better because of that stupid decision, then all those things apply. Redemption, forgiveness. It's important to forgive yourself first, and ask forgiveness from God for whatever it is.
Right.
Whether you've just mistreated somebody in a relationship, which we all do in some way. What may not purposely mistreat somebody, but treat somebody differently than they wanted to be treated because we didn't know how else to be other than ourselves.
Right.
So it's important to forgive yourself and ask forgiveness of anybody specifically you've hurt along the way. And obviously ask for God to forgive you, but I think God will forgive us anyway, whether we ask or not. And that's important to remember, that the God I serve is a forgiving God. Other people's gods are mean-spirited and vindictive and, fearful and all. That's not the God that I believe in and belong to.
Mm-hmm. A few folk wanted me to ask you the next question.
Okay.
And this is about Bellamy Creek. In those 5+ years you spent in Ionia, Michigan at Bellamy Creek Correctional Facility after being convicted of criminal sexual conduct, what measures, if any, did you take in the rehabilitation process in order not to reoffend?
Yeah. Well, the issue.
Any programs?
No, I get it. Yeah, I did. I attended church there, but I didn't have programs per se. But I'm a very self-aware person, and a person who believes in and leans into self-improvement, regardless of whether I've made a mistake or not. Self-improvement should be a daily, at least weekly process where you are trying to make better decisions and be a better human being, period. You don't need prison for that. Prison fixes no one. The person has to want to improve his or her situation. And you can do that in your house, in your car. So I didn't have programs per se. I read a lot of books about self-improvement, but I did that before prison, and I'm doing that now after prison. So it had nothing to do with the building I was in or the supposed punishment that I was getting from the state of Michigan. The two aren't connected. There are people who spend a lifetime in prison and never improve. So self-improvement has nothing to do with prison. And I want us all to get that self-improvement is a personal decision and growth is a personal decision. And, but see, I had done that before going to prison. But the way circumstances played out, the dumbass decision I made back in 2003 was discovered years later. So my punishment for that had happened after I'd already realized that what I was doing was dumb, inappropriate, and I fixed it on my own and moved forward with my life. But I had to suffer those consequences for that stupid decision. And I have no problem with that. I should have. There should be consequences for having sex with somebody who's underage. We have to have that in a society that needs to function and protect young people, right? So, I don't have an issue with what happened and my spending time incarcerated because of it.
Some research shows that folk who are tagged with criminal sexual conduct, it's almost evident. They're going to reoffend.
I get it. I get that.
How can we trust that Charles Pugh will not reoffend?
Yeah. Well, I think actions speak louder than words, or actions speak louder than research. Like, this happened in 2003. I went to prison for it in 2016. So, 13 years of, realizing that what you did was wrong and not doing it again is proof that, and I won't say, I didn't need to be rehabilitated from anything. It was just a dumbass decision that I needed to correct and move forward, making better decisions. So, there are people who have real problems. There are people who, touch other adults against their will. There are people who touch children inappropriately. I've never been that guy. I'm not that guy, and I never.
You are not R. Kelly. He's not. This is not R. Kelly,
and I'll never be that guy. Right? Thank God I don't have that. I have many problems in my life, but that's not one of them. And so, but there are people who do need to be rehabilitated, and there are people who do, unfortunately, have proclivities that are a danger to our community and are a danger to children. And so, there are people who do need therapy, and and mind you, I am going through therapy. Mm-hmm. It is a requirement of this, and that's cool. I think we all need therapy. I think we all should talk to a therapist about the multiple things that have happened in our lives, mm-hmm. whether it was a parent's divorce, the death of a sibling, the death of a kid, a person surviving cancer, just everyday life, and feeling misunderstood and being mistreated in some way. So I am going through required therapy as a condition of my parole, but I feel like I'm being helped by it, and I should have had that anyway. All the crazy shit that's happened to me over my life, I've never had therapy for it. Right. My mother being murdered when I was 3, my dad basically committing suicide right in front of me. I never had therapy for any of that. Life was my therapy. And I think as African Americans, I think that we don't really fully grasp the importance of therapy.
You mentioned your father.
Yeah.
And I want to ask this real quick,
Mm-hmm.
because we're going to get to the meat of this whole thing in a moment. But
Mm-hmm.
this is about.
Wait, we haven't gotten to the meat yet?
No, we have not.
Shit.
Charles, you once called it the worst day of your life. October 13th, 1978, your father, George Pugh, mm-hmm. committed suicide. Mm-hmm. Is that still the worst day of your life?
Absolutely it is. Yeah. Yeah. And that's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to start crying up in here, because we got these cameras. I know.
All right.
So it still is. Like, the second worst day was the day my grandmother died, Christmas Day of 2003. But yeah, no, that was a terrible day.
Yeah, seeing your father commit suicide,
yeah.
I can imagine.
I was 7 years old, and I heard the gunshot in his bedroom, and I went running in there, and what I saw was something you don't wish on your worst enemy. So yeah, and you can't unsee that. And I literally thought about it every day for the next, 15 years, until I started to think about it 4 times a week, then 3 times, then twice a week, then maybe once a week. So it took a long time before I could not see that image every day.
Wow. Coming up next, we will get to the meat of this tell-all conversation.
This is not over. Can I go home?
We got another half hour featuring.
Oh, Lord.
This conversation piece featuring former Detroit Council President and Fox 2 News anchor Charles Pugh. But first, for those of you who are listening to us via internet radio at reggieregradio.com, and you cannot see the video images of us right now, please go to our website at reggieregradio.com at any time and click on our podcast page to see the full interview on demand.
They can see me?
Oh, yeah.
I should have dressed up?
Pretty boy.
I shouldn't be wearing these flip-flops and this wife beater?
Oh, wow. I didn't even notice that. Man. You still look good, though. You wear it well. And now a quick word from our network sponsor, Mr. Rayford Fry's Black-owned and operated Black and White Look Optical Corporation in Detroit, Southfield, and East Point. Call today, Detroit cousin. I'm telling you, give him a call for the absolute best in eye care and eyewear. Again, he's Black-owned. His brother knows his stuff. 248-557-6444. That's 248-557-6444. This guy heard about us coming together with this big network, myself and Coco, Foolish, and Charles Pugh and Shiny D, and we didn't even have a product, and he supported us. So
jump right in.
Again, you guys make sure you visit Mr. Rayford Fry's Black-owned and operated Black and White Look Optical. As a matter of fact, here he is right now.
Here's an important message from Black and White Look Optical.
Hi, I'm Rayford Fry, owner of Black and White Look Optical, inviting you and your family to stop by and take advantage of our 2 for $60 deal. That's 2 pair of single vision lenses for $60. And remember, we're the only Black-owned, fully optometric practice with ophthalmologists and optometrists and opticians all on hand to give you a one-stop shop, handling all your visual needs. Me and my hardworking team look forward to serving you soon.
Call 248-557-6444. That's 248-557-6444.
And this is for this right here. This next one is for those who are listening right now for something that they're searching for. Right. And I want to tell you this: if you are a victim of any type of criminal sexual conduct, call the CSC National Network Hotline 1-800-656-HOPE. That's 1-800-656-4673. If need be, call that number, and you will speak with a local service provider. You can remain anonymous, and the service is absolutely free of charge. Number again, 1-800-656-HOPE.
That's really important, by the way, that people, a lot of times people are ashamed of when they are violated in any way. And, either by family members or strangers or, coworkers. So I'm so glad that you gave that number and put that out there, because I hope this conversation will allow people to get the help that they need if they are violated in any way. But also people who violate others should get some help for themselves and have a serious conversation and with themselves about changing their behavior and about making more responsible decisions and getting help. Sometimes people can't do it themselves. Sometimes you do need friends, family, and a support system, or not necessarily a support group per se, but, therapy does help. But certainly friends to check in with you and to say, hey, maybe what you're doing needs to change, and maybe we can help you with that. So, yeah.
All right, here we go.
Yeah. By the way, I'm wearing glasses now.
Yeah, from
Black and White.
Black and White, yeah, look optical.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll be getting some soon. All right, here we go. You ready to put the seatbelt on?
Okay, I'm ready.
Got the seatbelt on? Let's put that seatbelt on.
You put on your seatbelt.
All right, so I'm going to put my serious face on.
That's fine.
Here we go. Austin Williams.
Yeah.
The 14-year-old young man whom you had a relationship with.
He was 15.
15-year-old young man you had a relationship with.
Mm-hmm.
You made mention about your experience with him in court records and that type of thing, but you haven't talked about it since your recent release from prison. Charles Pugh,
right,
as a 32-year-old man, did you have sex with 14-year-old Austin? And if so, was it consensual?
Well, first of all, nothing I say here will be in any way to justify what I did. What I did was wrong, period. So I don't want that to be misconstrued in any way. Yes, Austin and I did have sex. He was 15, by the way. He wasn't 14. And in my judgment, it was consensual because Austin was sexually active and we did have sex twice. It was freaking appropriate because adults should not be having sex with teenagers that age. So I will never say anything that will in any way justify it because it's unjustifiable. So does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
I thank you for
Yeah.
telling it all.
Well, I haven't told it all, but
That's a lot. What you just
yeah, I mean, it's it's the truth. It did happen, which is why I didn't fight it in court, right? They were like, well, they didn't have any evidence. Well, it happened. So I'm not going to, drag Austin through that, and there was another young man by the name of Cody Samford.
I wanted to ask you about him.
Yeah.
Can I ask you about him?
Yeah, go ahead. And then,
Okay.
but
All
yeah,
right.
you asked me first, and then I'll tie it in why I didn't want to go forward with this trial because Cody would have been pulled into all of this, and and that was just unfair to both of them to take them through that. Which is why I took the plea deal and said this needs to end, and I need to be honest about what happened, the regretful thing that I did. So
okay, there was 15-year-old Austin, and now 18-year-old Cody, a mentee of yours from Frederick Douglass Academy Charter School, formerly the great Murray Wright High School, our alma mater, accused you of offering to pay for the prom that he couldn't afford to attend in exchange for a sex tape. When you first received word about that disturbing information and a slew of very graphic text messages between the two of you was soon to hit media, is it true, Charles?
Yeah.
Is it true that you sat in a room by yourself with a semi-automatic handgun and started to have some very dreadful visions in your mind?
Yes, that is true.
What stopped you from killing yourself? I hate to ask it that way,
No,
but
no.
I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah.
But
Well, hell, I'm glad I didn't either. Because if I was dead right now, I'd be pissed the fuck off.
right,
I'd be pretty angry if I was
it'd be
dead right
pretty
now.
hard to interview you if you were dead right now. No, but seriously,
No.
I'm glad you did not take your own life.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And I understand how hard something like that is when you're faced with that.
Yeah, absolutely. It was publicly embarrassing because I had, fucked up, right? And so when you're too obsessed with what other people think, that's when you go down that road. Okay, well, people hate me now. I need to kill myself. Stupidest thing ever. Because that's not how God works. And that's not what God wants. And so God wants you to do right and live right. But when you don't, you get another chance to learn from your fuck up and to do better and be better and to grow, right? Not die, but grow. The purpose of a mistake is to teach you how to do it right when you get another chance. The purpose of a mistake is not to say, oh, well, that mistake was so bad, you should die because of it. No, that's not how it works. And if anybody who thinks that that is how it works, then you need a little more time with people around you who love you and who will nurture you into doing and being better and to allow you to grow, make better decisions, learn from your mistake, share your mistake with others. But yeah, no, I certainly was going to end my life because I was embarrassed and I was upset with myself, but something wouldn't let me do it. It was thinking about my friends and my family, my nieces, my nephew, and realizing, there's nothing that's worth your life. Nothing. Nothing you ever do is worth dying for.
Have you heard from either of those two gentlemen since your time being incarcerated?
No, and they are not allowed to contact me, and I'm not allowed to contact them, which I think is unfortunate because I would love to be able to talk to them and to give a real sincere apology. That was part of the court proceeding where you could when you made a statement, and here's the reality. It's actually kind of funny, but in court, I didn't have my glasses on nor my contacts because they wouldn't let me have contacts. So when they said, turn around and, talk to Cody, well, literally I turned around and I couldn't see shit. I saw just a big blur. So I just said what I had to say in the direction that I thought he was standing. And so I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? He probably was wondering, well, why isn't he looking at me? I was because I couldn't see him. So,
and I totally understand that conversation.
so I think it's unfortunate the way it's set up, and I understand the way the legal system does it because there are people who have violated and really hurt people and would do it again, violently or sexually, and should not be having any contact with people that who they've hurt, right? Because, a lot of times it's a situation where you don't want them to threaten these people to keep them from testifying in court, that kind of stuff. So there's a specific strategic reason why you don't want people reaching out to somebody who has been victimized in any way. So I get that. But at some point, we're all grown men. All of us are grown men right now. Like I think Austin's, 35, and Cody's like almost 30 or 27, 28 or whatever. And so as grown men, certainly I would like to have a conversation and apologize for my inappropriate behavior, years ago. But because of the way it's set up, I can't do that.
Wow. R. Kelly, the name R. Kelly, the king of R&B and hip-hop in the 90s and 2000s, a true hit maker. Y'all know R. Kelly, winner of many Grammys, many video awards. He received a whole lot of money each quarter from publishing companies like BMI, ASCAP, and others. Last September, as we all know, he was tried and convicted and found guilty on all charges involving racketeering and sex trafficking. Yeah. He had a fetish for young girls. We all know the story. How does the Charles Pugh story compare to the R. Kelly story, or does it at all?
I don't think it does. Robert was molested as a kid. I was not. Thank God nobody touched me inappropriately. Robert was illiterate and, had to work really hard to do any of the things that he was able to accomplish. But Robert, also has some really serious issues that he has never addressed, nor have the people around him addressed it. And they really enabled him to do a lot of the things, most of the things that he did to violate women and girls. And there were a lot of people who could see that and never intervened. And, I feel badly for all those people involved. But I also feel bad for Robert because, he needed help a long time ago and nobody helped him, right? He needs help now. And I hope that he is able to get the help that he needs. How does that compare to me? Well, the inappropriate things that I was doing, nobody saw that either. And nobody stepped in to intervene to say to me, hey, you're fucking up. You know better and you should do better, right? Nobody said that to me. But I said that to myself and corrected my own behavior and have moved forward as a better man because of my accepting the truth of my fuck-ups. And I don't know that Robert has done that.
When you see the media, Charles, and others often compare you to R. Kelly in the sense that you were a superstar celebrity who used your fame and your name.
Not a superstar.
Yeah, absolutely. In Detroit, you were. And some say you used your fame and your name to attract victims.
I see.
They say you used your TV, news, radio, and political stardom to lure young boys. How do you react to that type of news?
That makes me laugh because that's not true. So that's all that needs to be said. That's just not true. That's absurd.
Mental health is everything.
Yeah.
We got to go here. Black folk to this day especially. I'm going to talk about black people. I'm not talking about anybody else. I'm talking about black people right now.
Yeah.
Mental health is a serious issue for a lot of us. Mm-hmm. And speaking of mental health, your specialty is primarily broadcast journalism. However, in my knowledge of you as a friend or brother, I'm aware of your what seems to me to be a sort of expertise in the psychological makeup of people.
Absolutely.
You are able to somewhat diagnose a person and help them better understand themselves and their own mental health woes. In your opinion, how do we as a people, black people, deal better with the care of our minds?
Well, that's what's helped me through this whole process, even recognizing that I was being inappropriate and was okay with it, right? And so in order to make any kind of significant paradigm shift, behavioral change, significant growth in your life, you've got to be fully self-aware, right? And you've got to realize that in order to make a change, for those people who are spiritual, that you have to understand that you have to live the way God wants you to live. For those people who are not spiritual, what you have to realize is that you have to live your life based on correct principles, which, by the way, is the same thing. What God wants for you is the core of correct principles: honesty, decency, forgiveness, understanding, truth telling, honest living, being helpful, being open, being receptive, working hard. Like that's the core of correct principles and living that life. So that's where it starts. With mental health, I think that's part of it, that you have to be self-aware. You have to understand that there are, issues that we all deal with, and that the best way to grow from that, whether it's anxiety, being bipolar, having anger management issues, having issues with a preoccupation with sex and sexual things, all those things, food addiction, gambling, drugs, alcohol, those things. That starts with self-awareness, a willingness, and a desire to change and to grow and to surround yourself with people who will facilitate that. Because a lot of times we surround ourselves with people who are enablers.
Now we're coming up on our close.
Yeah.
We got to do some sort of after the interview or something. There's a ton of stuff that I really missed here.
You got to keep me here longer than an hour. We got to keep talking.
I love you, boy.
I love you back, bro. But damn.
when you hear the following Maya Angelou quote, describe the way it makes you feel and why. Quote from Maya Angelou: "When you learn, teach.
That's right.
And when you get, give."
That's
unquote.
Right. Well, that's my life philosophy. Like I read that probably when I was in college, from a poem called Our Grandmothers. Basically, that means to me, I extrapolated that you don't have to have a lot to give somebody something. You just need to have what you have, and you don't have to know a lot to teach somebody something. You simply need to know what you know, which means that we come equipped, as we are, to be a blessing in somebody else's life.
That's beautiful. The expression "time heals."
Yeah.
The naysayers. This is just the naysayers.
Right.
20 years from now, what will they say about Charles Pugh?
I don't know, and I don't care. I really don't. At some point, you have to stop giving a fuck about what other people think. And you have to honestly realize if you are a good person and you are living the way God wants you, then everybody else needs to mind their own business and work on improving themselves and growing as individuals.
Beautiful. Talk about the all-new Grown Folks Radio Network that you've decided to be a part of, and your involvement with this particular radio form, the talk format, and things you want to do here. Us coming back on the radio.
I'm grateful to you, Reggie. This has been your vision and your baby for a very long time, to do internet radio and to do it in a grown folks type of way. And so I love the formats: hip-hop, R&B, gospel, talk, comedy. That's brilliant. I'm looking forward to being a part of the talk format. Well, first of all, at first, be a part of your hip-hop format. And Coco and I are going to put together an awesome show because Coco and I connect on many levels, and I'm looking forward to us.
She loves you.
Oh, I love her. And we've both grown in so many ways, and we want to share that growth with others and help other people grow and become their best selves. So that will be my focus on the talk format, is doing radio that helps people become their best selves.
Tell listeners real quick how they can continue to follow you and read that big book that we are so excited to hear about.
I'm not doing a tell-all book. I probably won't do that book, but I'm certainly am writing a book about becoming a better listener, because I think that is the core of becoming a better person, is genuinely listening and trying to understand somebody else's point of view. So I've written a book already. I'm done with it. I'm just got to put it
and your
down
radio show will talk about issues like that.
Yeah,
different topics. Like
the radio show
making you a better person.
Yeah, our show will certainly help people realize that you can grow from whatever setback it is. Whether it's cancer, whether it's divorce, whether it's, the death of one of your parents, one of your kids, whether it's something in yourself that you don't like that you need to change. You have the ability and the power to change it, and you can. And I want to help you do that because I've done it.
Thank you. We want to do some more, but I tell you, we got to close right now, and I want you to do just that. Okay. Tell everybody bye-bye or close. Talk to the people that love you and followed you and believe in you, Charles Pugh. They're watching right now.
I'm going to talk to everybody, not just the people who love me and my, followers. I'm going to talk to people who don't like me and who don't believe in me as well. I'm God's child, and so are you.
Amen.
And I think that we all need to embrace our humanness and embrace every part of us, including the things that we don't like, because you have the power to change it. And I have. And now moving forward, I want to help other people learn how to grow, mature, make better decisions, but become a better human being.
I love you, Charles.
I love you too, brother.
Good brother, man. You are a dynamic brother, Charles Pugh. All right, our 1 hour Charles Pugh tell-all interview has come to a close, and we invite you to see it again on demand and tell others to do so as well. Please visit our podcast page at reggieregradio.com. The Charles Pugh tell-all interview has been brought to you by Mr. Rayford Fry's black-owned and operated Black and White Look Optical Corporation in Detroit, Southfield, East Point. Give this brother a call so he can take care of you so you can see. 248-557-6444. That's 248-557-6444. Thanks for joining me and Charles Pugh on this very special edition of Reggie's World Podcast. And until we meet again, cousin, I want you, listen here now, I want you, I need you, Reggie Reg wants you to be blessed. And you know what? I think I hit the wrong button. Want you guys to be blessed.
Reggie Reg, turn it up.
Our next program will come to you tomorrow morning.
Thank you for listening.